I'm guardedly optimistic about Afghanistan's future in 2014 and beyond, because I think the alternative that the other side of the debate in this narrative actually has is worse. The Afghan people have experienced all of that. They've experienced civil war, they've experienced the Taliban's rule, they've experienced everything, and the Afghan people have come to a conclusion, and that is to roundly reject the ideologies that are espoused by the armed opposition, the ideologies that are espoused by the people who actually were combatants in the civil war. So I'm very hopeful that the people have actually undergone a paradigm shift, that the people actually want and deserve and are working actively in civil society, the women, the people, the younger generation, for a better, safer, and more prosperous Afghanistan. So I'm very hopeful. The biggest challenges that the young generation of Afghanistan face are multiple. I think the youth, or the generation in their teenagers and above, are the generation that actually not only lives in the present, but actually also aspires to the future. They have everything to lose or to gain. And I think in Afghanistan, upward mobility, opportunities to participate in gainful employment and education that actually equips them with the skills to lead a life of gainful employment and fulfilling prosperous middle-class life are very limited up until this point. I think the younger generation are aspirational nonetheless. They have a work ethic. They have a propensity to actually strive for education. We see hundreds or tens of thousands of youth coming from the provinces, from the districts where they lack the basic facilities of living, such as electricity, running water, or other facilities that you would have in a modernized urban environment. But they actually come to Kabul. They live in conditions of near poverty, but they actually are sacrificing for an education that can actually enable them to live in a better future. And I think this aspiration of the youth that actually draws them from the isolated remote areas of Afghanistan to come to Afghanistan for a belief in a future that an education can give them is what really I think helps them overcome some of the problems as well. But that doesn't mean that the systemic issues, the issues that could be resolved better by the government and not necessarily only through the will of individual citizens, aren't there. There's a lot for the government to do. There's a lot for society to do. There's a lot for the administrations to do to facilitate youth empowerment and to facilitate the youth to actually get equipped with the skills necessary to live a prosperous life in Afghanistan.